Hi guys, I am alone this week in the kitchen doing condiments. Amanda is away, sadly, but we'll struggle through. So I am making a barbecue sauce by Shoebox Kitchen, and it's called Dead Guy Sauce. And we cannot for the life of us figure out why it's called that. And there's nothing on Shoebox Kitchen's blog about the name, and we Googled it and we couldn't find anything. So please, Shoebox Kitchen, if you can explain this title in the comment section, we'd really love to hear why it's called Dead Guy Sauce, because it's a great recipe title. It starts off with 3 cups, which are about to spill over here, of apple cider vinegar. And you just dump everything into one pot. Then 2/3 of a cup of ketchup. I'm just using Heinz. But if you make your own, by all means, throw that in. Then you put in 2/3 of a cup of brown sugar, and I'm using dark brown sugar, but I think you could use light brown just as easily. And actually my dark brown sugar has kind of stiffened up here a little bit. It's gotten a little dry. So I just thought, as I'm measuring it out, I would share a couple tips about how to soften brown sugar if yours gets hard. Mine's actually okay. I'm going to be able to smush it in here, but if it gets really hard, you can either put it in the microwave for a little bit, not in the plastic bag, just put it into a bowl, microwave safe bowl, and just put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds, and that should help. And you can just keep doing it for short intervals if it isn't soft enough yet. Or you can, if you have a little more time, you can put a slice of apple in with your brown sugar right in the bag and store it that way, and that'll soften up the brown sugar over time. All right, there we go. And then the rest is so great. It's something you can remember in your sleep, basically, because it's just a teaspoon of all the other ingredients. So a teaspoon of salt, using kosher salt, and a teaspoon of onion powder, which if you haven't used before is actually a great ingredient. It's just pulverized dehydrated onion. A teaspoon of ground black pepper, and actually here I just thought I'd show you a trick that I have for grinding black pepper and measuring it. I just keep my pepper grinder in this little dish that I got as a present from my mother. I just grind it into here and then measure it right out of this little bowl. Okay. Just gonna tip the rest in. Live dangerously, lost some on the counter, but that's close enough. Then the 2 other liquid ingredients, put a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce in. And actually Worcestershire sauce has a great story if you've never heard it before. It was actually brought back, the recipe for Worcestershire sauce was brought back by a man, an English man who'd been living in India, I believe in the late 1800s. He came back to England and he loved this sauce, and he brought the recipe on a piece of paper to these 2 guys who were basically like engineers and inventors. And he said, "Can you recreate this sauce for me?" They made it and tasted it and thought it was disgusting. And so they just put it in their basement, and then discovered it again months later and tried it, and it was delicious. So what they hadn't realized is that it needed all that time to ferment. It does have anchovies in it, so I think that's probably part of the reason there. And those 2 guys were Lee and Perrins, hence Lee and Perrins Worcestershire sauce. So the last ingredient is Tabasco sauce, but mine was looking a little old and gray. So I'm gonna use Cholula instead, which I keep around and I think is a really good substitute. Just a teaspoon of that. Okay, and whisk it up. It's gonna be a little bit lumpy, so don't be worried because it'll smooth out. Bring it to a boil and then just simmer it for about half an hour until it thickens and turns into barbecue sauce. So you can see the sauce is thickening, and it's getting actually quite a bit darker. And it's only been going for about 20 minutes, so it still has another 10 or so to go. It'll really thicken up. So we have Dead Guy sauce here, which is looking quite beautiful for a dead guy. You can see the black pepper floating around in there. And Shoebox Kitchen recommends that you serve it warm. I think it would be fantastic over barbecue chicken or with a pulled pork sandwich, which I'm kind of craving right now. But for now I have a piece of bread that I'm gonna dip it into and try. That's all I have. But it smells amazing. It's such, oh, I'm talking to my mouth full. Such a great barbecue sauce. It's really tangy and not too sweet, which I really like. And it's also not super thick and cloying. You could sort of see how it would be a great sort of basting sauce for chicken or pork, or just pour it over something for serving. It's really delicious. So thank you so much, Shoebox Kitchen, for such a great recipe.